So on our explainer tonight, this has been the big figure coming out of the National Bureau of Statistics for the month of October 2024. And this is that reduction in the inflation rate to 2.7%. Now, if you just do it comparatively from 6.9% at the start of the year, would be good news, wouldn't it? Except that maybe you might want to look at this figure in totality with a couple of other metrics that are going on in the country. Now, some of the ones we've picked, for instance, 2.7% ideally should mean that the prices of goods, and based on that, falling food, fuel prices, cooking gas, amongst others. But let's look comparatively, for instance, at the fuel prices from, say, 2022 to date. Now, we've picked 2022 for a reason. This was the month in September when prices went up by about 20 shillings. So prices for petrol, for instance, went up 20 shillings and it was 179. A month later, October 2022, it went down by just about a shilling. In October last year, it went up to 217 shillings and 36 cents. And as of last month, 180, or rather this month up till the 15th, it's at 180. I just want us to look at the other prices. Let's look at the next one of diesel and then kerosene, and then we will explain these fuel prices. So in September 2022, 165, 205 shillings in October, about a year later, and this month retailing at 168 shillings a litre. And for kerosene, you will see the same thing that we take a look at here. In September 2022, 147, October last year, 205, 151. We need to explain a couple of things that happened here. You notice, let's go back first. Let's hang on a little bit. You notice that there is a huge jump from 2022 to 2023. This one will suffice. 147 in September 2022, 205. What happened in the year 2023? Finance Act 2023 that doubled VAT on petroleum products from 8% to 16%. There was that jump. Now, you'll notice every time there's a big jump, like 20 shillings, a big increase, the decreases are 1 shilling, 2 shillings, 5 shillings, right? Then there is another thing that happened in 2024. Just a couple of months ago, you remember what took place with the road maintenance levy that went up by 7 shillings, all right? So you've got increased taxes on the cost of fuel products, right? Even with reduced inflation, and you know the increased cost of petroleum products also increases the prices of goods and services. Let's take a look at the next thing that just puts that 2.7% figure into perspective. So it's supposed to be lower, right? Which means you have more money in your pocket. Except if you take a look at the Kenya Economic Survey 2024, that looks at incomes and how they have depreciated over time. Now, usually they do it as average annual incomes. We've divided it by 12 just for ease of understanding. In 2021, the average monthly incomes for those in the private sector was 60,021. 2022, that went down to 58,000. And in 2023, that went further down to 57,000. So a reduction of about 3,000 to 4,000 shillings in the average monthly income for those who are employed in private sector. It looks similar in private sector, public sector, if we take a look at the next one. And this is important for a number of reasons. Less money. Less average incomes. 59,000 was the average monthly income for those in public sector. In 2022, that went down to 56,544, and a further reduction to 52,155 in the year 2023. Now, all of this is government statistics. Essentially, what this means is earnings have continuously depreciated over time, which means you earn less money. So that even if inflation comes down, do you still have enough disposable income to buy the foods and other products that you require? Now, what does this decrease in income mean? It means decreased spending. That perhaps can be properly manifested in our next slide, which is the one that takes a look at the KRA October 2024 revenues. Now, I want you to take a look at these numbers, okay? Domestic VAT, the collection was down 26.3%. There was a deficit of 2.37 billion shillings that was collected. This was due to lower contributions from various sectors like those in wholesale and retail, trade, electricity, administration and support. Now, VAT, of course, you know, is a consumable tax. That means that's what the government collects when you buy products. But remember, we've showed you that incomes are decreasing, right? Excise duty was down by 573 million shillings. Now, this was due to lower remittances from manufacturers of products like beer, bottled water, and soft drinks. meaning perhaps that there is less demand for it because of reduced income and ability to pay. Pay remittances, please excuse the typo, down by 1.21 billion shillings. Now, this has been attributed by KRA itself to tax refunds that have been used to offset liabilities. But here's another one, reduced monthly cash payments per employee. Now, by law, employers cannot reduce the salary, so possibly that could be due to laying off of workers or perhaps laying them off and hiring cheaper labor. Whichever way you can see, collections by government are down. This last one is excise duty on money transfers has declined by 728 million. This is due to decreased transaction values in the banking sector, meaning reduced sending of money that you do from one person to the next, meaning less money that is flowing in the economy. So do these people who have less incomes, are they able to benefit from a reduced inflation rate? That is the conversation.